Well, now it has come time for our final announcement. I know. What's it gonna be, guys? Any guesses? No. And frankly, I don't know what I could say to set this moment up besides this. Get ready for the final battle.
Oh, we're finally here.
A shadow fell upon our planet.
We're finally here.
Guided by calamity, one man sought dominion through reunion. By his will, a star,
Reunion!
a meteor, called forth to bring ruin to all. But our planet answered, awakening mighty weapons to stand against this celestial threat.
All new designs.
Hope endures in those...
Northern Crater. Bro.
Long story short, the world's in trouble. It has been for a while.
So what do we...
Dog.
Let's give Sephiroth
The scale of this is going to be crazy. Medeal. Wu-Tai. I cannot wait for Wu-Tai. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that.
I'll make this quick. Good night.
The sky's the limit!
Come on, man.
I can do this. I'll make you proud.
The fit system? I'm a little curious about the fit system.
Oh my. Is that all?
We'll get to that.
As far as I can tell, these things don't distinguish between friend and foe.
Save the planet by killing her protectors.
Yeah, the Medeal incident. That's a Ruby weapon for sure. Only because it's red.
Put your faith to the test, Cloud.
Never would have made it this far without you guys. And I won't let you down. I promise.
There you have it, and no, he's not done yet. Please join me in welcoming back to Summer Game Fest the director of Final Fantasy VII Revelation, Naoki Hamaguchi-san.
I'm back! ようやくですね、このファイナルファンタジー7リベレーションをマルチプラットフォーム同時で、発表できたことを本当に嬉しく思います。ここまで来れたのもこの物語を信じ待ち続けてくれた皆さんのおかげだと本当に感謝をしています。
I'm truly delighted to unveil Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which is launching simultaneously on all platforms. And we've only been able to come this far thanks to every single one of you who continue to believe in this story and waited for this moment with us.
今作のテーマは決意です。クラウドたちは最後の戦いに進むため、それぞれの決意と向き合います。
The central theme of this title is resolve. Cloud and his companions each confront their own destinies and find the resolve to march toward the final battle.
そして私自身もこのシリーズを完結させるという決意を胸にこの作品と向き合ってきました。
I too have carried a promise in my heart throughout this journey, the resolve to see the series through to its very end.
皆さんに最高の形でお届けします。ぜひ見届けてください。
We're committed to delivering this experience in its ultimate form. Please stay with us and witness what lies beyond that resolve.
Today, to help guide us on our path, please show me in Welcome to the Stage, the voice of Vincent Valentine, Matt Mercer.
Thank you very much, Hamaguchi-san. It's truly a privilege to be here with you today, if you know me. There's honestly so much to see in Revelation. I think we just kind of need to dive right in. What do you say?
Let's do it. Take it away, Matt.
I don't mind if I do.
Yeah, they had to make up for lost time. We should have already been looked at this.
Reunite with our heroes. The meteor looms in the skies above.
We should have had a trailer months ago.
Mission, and the grave threats you'll confront as you embark upon your journey and face the epic conclusion of the remake series. Aboard the Highwind, your very
was that Cloud giving
aboard
Sephiroth the black materia?
Face the epic conclusion of the remake.
No, he's not giving him the black materia here. So what is this conversation about?
Series. Aboard the Highwind, your very own airship and the pride of the Shinra fleet, you'll take to the skies and witness our most expansive open world yet. From the outskirts of Midgard.
Well, of course they wouldn't be giving him the black materia right then. It's going to be true to the original. Sephiroth's physical body is going to be encased in crystal, and Cloud will give it to him then. You kind of have to stick to that.
To the sun-drenched Medial Archipelago, to the warrior nation of Wutai. Simply pick a direction and set sail. But how can you be expected to protect the whole world at once? You'll need to cover ground fast.
I am not jumping. No way, no how.
Don't worry. These parachutes are top of the line. Pull the cord and pop. You'll be floating through the air like a feather.
At any moment in the open world, simply pilot the Highwind to your destination and take a leap of faith. With the wind rushing past, you'll descend seamlessly from the sky above to the ground below. Where will the winds guide you first? That freedom is in your hands.
The Happy Turtle!
Destination. To defeat your enemy, you'll need a fighting chance. And that starts with your trusted allies. At long last, with the world teetering on a blade's edge, everyone assembles at Cloud's side, forming an epic ensemble of heroes, each with their own story that brings you closer together than ever. But a good unit needs more than friendship to save the day. It needs a disciplined combat regiment. The hybrid battle system, established in Remake and refined in Rebirth, is perfected in Revelation, putting even more power in your hands. In fluid, real-time action, seamlessly switch between party members.
I want assists,
Then,
substitutions,
strategy. Enter
triple text.
to unleash a suite of powerful new spells and abilities. Activate devastating synergies with your companions. And of course, call on mighty...
I love the consistency in the battle system, though. You got to keep that going. Plus, we would have been waiting a lot longer if they had come up with something completely new. Nah, just add to what you've already got. That's why these games came out so quick. Well, parts 2 and 3.
Summoning Ifrit never gets old. There are truly some chill-inducing fights ahead in Revelation. I'm so excited to see all of your reactions. It's gonna be amazing.
I'm guessing you have a favorite character to play in battles?
I might be a little biased, but since you brought it up, let's have a look at our newest coffin-dwelling companion, Vincent Valentine.
I won't return to my coffin until we've put Sephiroth in his.
Vincent is a deft gunslinger, capable of delivering precise high...
Vincent Dungeon.
But there's more to this secretive...
So what do we have
shots.
in terms of all necessary materials gathered for the high potion on the... Okay, so we've got crafting back. Yeah.
But there's more
That's
to this
it.
secretive former Turk than meets the eye. The result of experimentation at the hands of Shinra. Vincent can transform into the Galleon Beast.
Okay. Okay. At first... Oh, God. What'd I do? Dude, this brought all the way down to 480p. Give me a break. So, at first I thought Vincent's Galleon Beast transformation was on a timer. But in Rebirth, Aerith has an ability called Transcendent, where if you activate it, she gets that same icon. And if you stack it, if you stack it, it becomes even more powerful. So you could be able to stack the transformations to either make Galleon Beast more powerful or to trigger other transformations. Because in the original game, Vincent's got multiple transformations. That'd be pretty cool.
Hamaguchi-san.
Dude, what are we doing? That's later.
Gaining tremendous power while transformed. And when combined with the skills of a certain ace...
Yeah. Hold up.
Tremendous power while transformed. And when combined with the skills of a certain...
It's increasing.
Into the Galleon Beast at the press of a button. Gaining tremendous power while transformed.
Like there's a gauge and it's increasing.
Skills of a certain ace pilot. Their high-impact synergies disrupt the fight with ferocious results.
The Leaping Lancer, the Dashing Dragoon.
The longer he's in his transformation, the more powerful he gets. That's what it kind of looks like.
Sid Highwind, the cantankerous pilot extraordinaire, joins the party and their mission to defeat Sephiroth. Sid's command of his lance allows him to rapidly close the distance for powerful strikes, or engage in sweeping area of effect attacks to bring a whole host of enemies to heal. But to fully control the battlefield,
that's crazy.
Skill with a weapon only gets you so far. To further augment your combat capabilities, try this on for size.
This is cool.
Integrated tactical suitwear.
This is cool.
Or the Fit system for short, allows you to further customize your playstyle with new uniforms imbued with unique movesets. Alongside your equipment and materia, Fits gives you an extra edge in battle. And to face what's coming, you'll need all the strength you can muster.
That's pretty cool. Kind of like a job system. I mean, essentially you can put your characters in whatever role you want, depending on what materia you give them. In Remake, your weapons have skill trees. And say you want your character to be a black mage. You take your magic focused weapon and you just unlock nodes that boost magic abilities. Matter of fact, where's the mithril saber? Right. So this is Cloud's magic focused weapon. And you got all these little nodes that you unlock with SP every time you level up. You got your magic defense here. Move over here. You've got magic attack power. So if you wanted your magic focused weapon to be a true magic weapon, you just unlock all the things that are geared towards magic. MP region, new materia slot, gotta have those. Is there anything here that's not magic related? You want your character to be able to do pretty decent regular damage before they can cast spells, because you need ATB to cast spells. And if you don't have ATB, then you can't cast spells. And that's pretty much how you assign roles to characters, or at least that's how I do it. Say you've got physical weapon, hard edge, great physical weapon. So you got a magic attack buff here, but it's kind of weak. Attack power, and those are pretty good stat boosters. So if you wanted Cloud to be straight up physical, but meanwhile in Rebirth, your weapon will automatically get a predetermined upgrade. You will get an attack buff or an extra materia slot. You'll just get those automatically. You don't get to pick and choose what your weapon gets. I mean, but you can still assign roles to all your characters depending on what kind of weapon they have. It's just they took away the freedom to pick and choose what buffs your weapon will have until the next time you level up. And I can't tell you how many players I've watched who aren't really experimenting with that aspect of the game. People will always assign Aerith to be the white mage and leave tons of magic damage on the table. They've got, say, Barret or Tifa in a black mage role when they've got weak magic stats. Oh, that's a bad example because she's not in the active party at the moment in this file. So let's say Yuffie. And I can probably tell you what kind of role I have her in as far as materia goes. HP, prayer, ATB, assist, skill master. So she gets ATB fast. Probably so she could get prayer off. So I probably got her as a healer. Magnified time for, yeah, I've definitely got her as a healer. Haste all. That'll make everybody's ATB charge faster, including hers. And she'll get up to 2 bars, which is how much it costs to use Pray. And that's how I usually handle healers. Pray doesn't cost any MP. You can just use it willy-nilly as long as you've got 2 bars. So Yuffie is my healer in this file. We're locked on Kate. Yeah. Okay, for laughs. What do I have for Kate? MP absorb, fire, empowerment. So he's probably in a white black mage role. Enemy skill, healing, luck. So magnify, empowerment. So that's a buff for everybody. MP absorb, so he can keep using fire. So yeah, he's probably in a black white role. Cloud. HP fire, MP fire. So yeah, he's strictly a black mage in this situation. Swift cast fire. Yeah, he's strictly black mage in this role. So, but the fit system in Revelation is going to add an extra layer of what you want your characters to do. Because if every outfit is specifically designed for somebody, let me switch back to
Customize your play style with.
Yeah, so if Tifa has a black mage outfit, what does that do for her magic stats? Not much. Over on the right-hand column where you've got the staff, the magic staff, the hat. So magic attack, her magic attack is pretty good. Magic defense, not so much. But the costumes dictate what you want your characters to be able to do, but you also have materia and you still have weapons. You still have all your other equipment.
Uniforms imbued with unique.
Yeah, she still got her leather gloves. You got your bangles, got your accessories.
Movesets. Alongside your equipment and materia, Fitz gives you an extra edge.
Even for weakness damage, well, I guess it depends on what point in the game this is happening in. It's also not done, not quite. But even for fire weakness damage, you got 88s, 85s, everything's in the 80s except for that 45 down there. It's still a pretty weak magic. So I still wouldn't want Tifa in a black mage role. Okay. The Scarlet fight. Fun fight. I love the Scarlet fight. Tifa. Elemental lightning. HP up. So she is mostly physical damage, but she's doing magic damage with elemental lightning. With the dragon claws, which are, I think they're a red mage weapon. I don't know. Let's put the Sith gloves on. It's mostly an attack weapon. What's her magic weapon here? So it's the crystal gloves. Aerith is my full-time spellcaster. Aerith is never strictly my healer, but she is mostly a black mage here. MP lightning, swift lightning, magic efficiency lightning, which means they're cheaper, right? Yeah, magic efficiency makes spells cheaper. HP lightning, yeah, she's strictly black mage in this role. And Aerith is like the most flexible character in part 1 and part 2. She can fill multiple roles. She doesn't have to be your black mage, but she doesn't have to be your white mage either. But there's a lot of players out there who treat her that way, and it's like, dog. Just because she's the cute girl in the long skirt, she has to be the nurse? Like, come on, she's so powerful. I mean, look at the magic attack, 495. 495. That's crazy. And she's not, dude, she doesn't even have her magic weapon equipped. She's got her basic weapon on her. 495 magic attack with her basic weapon. With her ceremonial staff, that cranks it up to 525. Timeless Rod, 510. Plumos Rod, 560. She's got 3 different weapons that jack her magic attack up to... Bro, she doesn't have to be your healer. But with the inclusion of the fit system, you can make it so anybody can fill her role. Because an outfit alone will just boost her magic stats up a bit. But equip her magic focused weapon and an accessory that boosts magic stats up even more. Like, yeah, anybody could fill Aerith's role now as far as attack goes, magic attack. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. They're adding another layer of customization to your characters. It might also be a completion thing, depending on how easy it is to get these costumes. It's also an Ever Crisis thing, because there's a bunch of costumes in that that boost stats.
In battle, and to face what's coming, you'll need all the strength.
Oh, she had all 9s on that last one. Okay.
Sensing its fate hanging in the balance, the planet itself has unleashed its last line of defense. The weapons. Ancient beasts that are larger than life and capable.
So the attack on Medill.
Will you be enough to stop them before it's too late?
So there's a gimmick to this weapon fight.
Torn apart. You and your friends must.
It's also where Cloud and Tifa fall into the live stream, but I'm still holding on to this theory, this prediction that's going to play out different. Tifa already fell on the live stream. If Zack is with us at this point in the story, I think he's going to play a pretty big role in that sequence. If he's with us. I mean, there's a number of reasons why he probably won't be with the party at this point in the story, or how often he'll be in the story at all. He should be in there more often than he was in Rebirth, for sure. It all depends on if he's in the main world with everybody else, which I hope he is, but he probably won't be with the party because that would impact the story too much. If he's with the party during the attack on Medill, it's the whole live stream sequence is going to take a sharp left. It's going to take a really sharp left, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm kind of hoping for that because Tifa was already in the live stream. Why does he need to go back in there? Well, to help give Cloud his memories back. But Zack would be more impactful in that situation than in the original.
Unite. In Revelation, we come to the thrilling conclusion of the Final Fantasy VII saga.
That's going to be a very annoying mini game.
Your Buster Sword. Equip your materia and stand together. One last time.
So is that Genova fight in the Northern Crater?
Seven Saga, and your mission is clear. Take up your Buster Sword, equip your materia, and stand together. One last.
It's kind of hard to tell. It probably is. In that case, but if that's the case, don't show us in-game shit. Please don't. Oh, jeez. Of course, the high wind has a hype beam.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Hamaguchi-san, for bringing us this extended look at Final Fantasy VII Revelation. I think I speak for all of us when I say we cannot wait to play it.
But Mark, I think we ended the video too early. I hate to leave a story unfinished.
He loves to talk, bro.
All right.
He wants to show us so much.
You better take a look.
Get the cannon back online, now!
The weapon hits Junon. Rufus gets injured. And then he doesn't show up again until Advent Children. That's supposed to be Diamond Weapon. I'm pretty sure that's Diamond Weapon who hits Junon with that blast. Remake was April 20th, 2020. If the launch window is spring 27, I'm shooting for April 20th. That'll mark 7 years to the day. You can't tell me that's not intentional. Okay, so there's still some stuff I want to touch on. We've got a couple of articles. Yeah, we've got a few articles. Max interviewed Hamaguchi in his home. Let's see if I can get some music going real quick. Can't have it being all quiet. All right, this one is from The Gamer. The original portraits are going to be recreated. As revealed in the recent gameplay showcase, Revelation's character portraits are actually recreations of the menu icons from the original FF7. Summer Game Fest revealed the long-awaited final entry in the FF7 Remake trilogy was already a monumental moment for fans with how much it revealed about the game. We saw the Highwind in action, Sid and Vincent's unique combat styles, a new job system with snazzy outfits, and so much more. As you can probably imagine. Though, the gameplay footage that was showcased as part of the Revelation's reveal is hiding a ton of details that the community has been steadily unpacking over the past few days. One minor detail that's already been spotted has quickly become a fan favorite. This to do with the game's character portraits. Ah, I see it. I love it. Can I blow this up? Oh, that's great. I like that. Yeah, that's cool, dude. I like that they did that. That's a good touch. Man. What else? Oh, Revelation to include far more Zack content than the original. Well, than Rebirth, excuse me. Also from The Gamer. If you found Zack's story oddly sparse in Rebirth, you certainly aren't alone. The mini-episode nature of them didn't really do it any favors either. They'd pop at off in random points, last 10 minutes, then leave. It wasn't until right near the end of the story that they remotely picked up the pace. Revelation doesn't sound like it's repeating that choice. On the one hand, it's time to see the culmination of the Zack side of the equation one way or the other. On the other hand, it's good to hear confirmation that there will be a considerably higher amount of Zack. But will he be in the party? I kind of don't think he'll be. I mean, I want him to be in the party, but like I said earlier, it would impact the story too much. If they're retelling the original game beat for beat, Zack being around is going to affect that. So what I think is going to happen is Zack is going to be in the world. He's going to be in the same world. So what I think is going to happen, Zack's going to be in the same world with the main party, but he'll be several steps behind them. Like, they won't even know he's there. They probably won't even be aware that he's even around. Okay, we got the poster. Dog, that's beautiful. Zack and Aerith probably lingering around. Well, Aerith is definitely going to be lingering around. She's going to be in Cloud's head. Maybe a Force Ghost type of deal. She'll be around in spirit. And if she interacts with Zack at all, like person to person, flesh to flesh, that might be in a different world. That would definitely be in a different world. Some truly great interviews out there following 7 Revelations reveal announcement. I personally recommend both parts of Automaton's interview with the trilogy director Hamaguchi. I think we're looking at that next. Plenty said there, blah, blah, blah. Lots to dig into. Let's talk Zack. Some slightly different elements between the original and the remake series. The previous game depicted the existence of multiple timelines, but worlds. But directly stating that in words would spoil the appeal. Zack plays the role again in this game, so his screen time is even greater than before, and he's provided as an even more important part of the gameplay experience. He's provided as an even more important part of the gameplay experience. Directly? Indirectly? Is it going to be playable? Does he affect Cloud's gameplay in some way? I'm not sure even greater is much of a statement in and of itself when he had so relatively few in Rebirth, but that's mincing words. The important part is that we're already being told to expect him on a more routine basis, and specifically in an important role. I don't know that he really had one in Rebirth. He did. It just went over people's heads. People complained so much about not seeing Zack enough that they didn't realize what he was there to do. Zack was essentially around to illustrate how worlds work. Zack had variants. Every time he split the worlds or made a different choice, he created variants. He basically killed off himself, and the world went along with it. Zack was basically the anchor being of those respected worlds he was in, because he was just there to show us how the multiple worlds thing works. And once he served his purpose, that world died out. And even Sephiroth said it. You don't have to mourn these worlds, because some they come and go, blah blah blah. It's not something we're going to have to keep track of a whole lot. He certainly factored, but again, it wasn't until Endgame he really popped off at all. Zack is often talked about in overseas media, but his role in this FF7 remake series is to tell the story of a slightly different worldview and setting from the original version through him. Yeah. They probably said it better than me. Zack is often talked about in overseas media, but his role in the remake series is to tell the story of a slightly different worldview and setting from the original version through him. Yeah. I don't know about different worldview. It's more like different worlds. And he was the anchor being behind those worlds. I mean, not the same way Wolverine was an anchor being in Deadpool and Wolverine, but once Zack died, once those Zack variants died, there was no reason to really pay attention to those worlds anymore. In that world where he and Biggs are interacting, and Zack went to the reactor to stop Biggs from bombing the reactor. Zack jumped over the edge into the empty Mako pit, and that's the last we see of that. There's no reason to keep up with that world, because the main person who showed us what that was is dead. This part grabs me a bit more when we technically knew this already, because that's precisely how things go with Rebirth. But it seems like it's going to be an unexpected... It seems like it's going to be an expanded upon element for a Revelation, which holds him firm to that original idea. Perhaps that means more drastic changes from Zack's perspective, like hopping across multiple world lines rather than hanging out in just one. I reckon he'd have some interesting things to share with our main heroes should he chance to intersect with them again. Also, in the Denfamico interview, Hamaguchi-san mentions that guest party members will temporarily join the roster at certain points. That's big too. That's reminiscent of, say, Final Fantasy XII. We've seen it with Sonon in episode Yuffie, but there hasn't been much else like it since. However, at key points in the game, just like in the previous game, Zack will make appearances and other guest characters will join as playable characters. And these elements are incorporated into the story. That being said, the basic style is to thoroughly customize and control the main characters. So don't expect the game's fit system, which borrows traits from classic Final Fantasy job classes, to apply to guests. But that's fair. It's cool to know that there will be guests. What do you reckon that means? I read something like this a little while back, fairly recently, where somebody threw out the idea of Cisne being a guest party member, and you could control her. This one is from Games Radar. Damn it, why'd I do that? Final Fantasy 7 Revelation story changes. Final Fantasy 7 Revelation story changes based on your choices, but Hamaguchi says the JRPG will have a singular ending. How does that make sense? How does that work? Revelation was the big closing event at Summer Game Fest 26, but director Hamaguchi didn't reveal all of the game's big secrets on stage. As it turns out, Revelation will offer a selection of player choices that affect how the story plays out, but the team is committed to a singular vision for the ending. Okay. Just like Square Enix to be confusing. These choices tie into the theme of resolve, underlying this final chapter of the story. As our party head into the final battle, the game is going to show the resolve that they carry within them. Hamaguchi tells Games Radar via a translator, this goes without saying, but our heroes, Cloud, and his companions are beloved by a lot of people around the world, blah, blah, blah. We didn't want to just kind of deliver a singular storytelling experience for every player around the world. We wanted each player, each fan, to have a unique experience as they head towards the final battle. As Hamaguchi explains, there will be some moments where players will be faced with choices. And based on the choices that they make, these specific moments where we see each character facing the final battle and the story moment where it shows their resolve as they head into this final battle determines the fate of the planet. That's going to change a bit between the players based on the choices they made throughout the game. Is it going to be something like Remake when, depending on how many times you use the character, they jump in during the final battle? Or the same thing with Rebirth. You have a different party combination depending on how often you used those characters. Is it going to be something like that? Because that's not unique. The director knows there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on how the ending of this third game is going to go. The concluding chapter of this remake series, how it's going to play out, is probably going to receive a lot of attention from our fans. I think a lot of fans are worrying or just being curious about how it's going to play out. I'm more worried that y'all aren't going to stick to the plan. Obviously the director isn't going to spill all the beans on that ending right now, but he was willing to confirm that the ending of the story is going to be a singular ending, unaffected by any concrete way by the choices you make during the adventure. I'm still not picking up what you're putting down. Maybe I'm just slow. There won't be multiple endings that would change depending on the player's choices. Good. So they're completely eliminating the write your own adventure shit that I don't want. But the process of how we get there to that singular ending might be a bit different between the players based. Oh, okay. So the ending will be the same, but how we get there is going to be different. Okay. Duh. Okay, yeah. So your path to the ending will be different depending on the choices you make, but it's still going to be a concrete ending. Okay, I can get down with that. Okay, and last up, Max interviews Hamaguchi.
Hamaguchi-san, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And just quick introduction. Thank you so much for being here.
Boy, what a life this guy has, man.
But what was the intention behind having so much at the start? Was there just a lot you guys were holding back? Was that it?
そうですね。今回はその比較的こうファイナルファンタジー7ってこう一般的にこうユーザーがこうストーリーとかキャラクターのゲームっていうこう印象が強くて、むしろこうリバースも含めてこうリベレーションもですけど、やっぱりゲーム体験としても非常にこう深いこうゲーム内容になってるんで、そこを今回しっかり伝えたいっていうところで、ものすごくこう情報量を多く最初に出すっていうところは結構意識してやってます。
Yeah, and obviously a couple of the biggest elements focusing on weapons and exploration seem to be a really big deal. How are you feeling on the exploration side of things? Because it's one side that was extremely fun in Rebirth, and Rebirth went kind of out of its way to make sure we see everything. Is that going to be changing a little bit in Final Fantasy VII Revelation?
そうですね、リベレーションでもリバースのこうワールドマップを探索するっていう方向性は基本的には変わってはないです。
Cool.
今回ってそのウータイとか今画面ウータイとかそのロケット村だったりとか新しいエリアっていうのは当然出てきますけど、これまでの既存のエリアっていうのもやっぱり同じように出てきます。やっぱりその同じロケーションが出てきた時になんか前回と同じリバースと同じ探索だとやっぱどうしてもユーザーがこうだかっていう体験が同じだって思ってしまうと思うので、2つのこうチャレンジというか2つの変化を入れてます。1つ目はそのこうメテオとかウェポンがこう出てきたことによって各地がこう、地殻変動というかこういろいろこう変化があるので、同じような見た目のそのマップであってもやっぱこう前作リバースとは違うようにしています。
Yeah, right. It's going to be different because the meteor is affecting the whole planet. Just the original game, after meteor is summoned, you go back to the same places you were at earlier, way earlier in the game, and everything's just different. The whole tone is just different. NPCs are saying different things. They're obviously pretty shook, and you've got different, missions you can do. Yeah. Expansiveness of the exploration. Even more so.
広いけどその広い中をあちこちこう行けますっていうのはリバース比較的多かったんですけど、今回は映像にもあったパラシュートでこう落下してきたり、チョコボもすごく成長することで。
Yeah, I thought that was them parachuting into Midgar, but it turns out that's how you get off of the airship whenever you want to explore a region. But the question is, how do you get back on it? They probably drop a rope ladder or something, or you come to a certain spot and the game will ask you, do you want to board the high wind, and you're just on it.
結構空をもう自由に飛べるようになったりするんですね。そういう感じで横の広
By whoa, hold up. Also, by growing the chocobos, you can fly around quite freely. There better not be chocobo breeding. A lot of y'all probably thought that was fun. I never got around to that, but I hear it's a hassle. It's a pretty big hassle. It was worth the time, though. You got Knights of the Round if you got a gold chocobo. That was well worth your time. But don't do nothing like that this time around. That's dude. So you can explore the skies too.
スケールの広いこうオープンワールドのゲーム体験ができるようになったかなっていう手応えがあります。
Seems like this is going to be pretty big, and you guys are already kind of masters at scaling down the size of the game with the Switch 2 version. The size of the game went down significantly from the PlayStation 5.
Oh, Nico's there.
Probably going to be pretty large. Do you guys have any general idea how massive it might be? Because I sort of have a bet. It might be like a 3-disc game or something like that, similar to the old one.
ディスクのってことね。そうですね。原作のね、セブンが で3枚でこう構成されてたので、まあ、我々も今こうどこまでのサイズでこう収まるかっていうのをこう開発チーム内でもギリギリの調整をして
Oh man, we're gonna have to clear out half our console storage for this shit.
お届けできるか、そこは楽しみにしてもらいたい。
And we did see a lot of focus on weapons as
Like I'm gonna have to move 3 or 4 games from the console to the hard drive for this shit.
focusing in the trailer right now as well. The weapon fights seem to have a lot of unique interactions outside of the cinematic stuff. It was always a joke. Are we just gonna hit them in the shins, in the feet the whole time? And it seems like you guys have some pretty big plans for these big fights. Is that something that you're sort of anxious to show off in the future, or is there anything you can talk about how do we fight things that are the size of buildings?
そうですね、まあ、まだ今はちょっとそんなにこう
They're not gonna discuss that right now.
詳細はこう
He doesn't want to talk about that right now.
ただ一個そのウェポン戦を
It's gonna be like Final Fantasy 16, where they all feel different and they're really huge. The Titan fight, what's the wind? What's the wind icon? Garuda. It's all gonna feel really different, but there's gonna be a way to tackle each one, and it's all gonna be unique. That's what I'm hoping for, and it's gotta be that way. How many weapons are there? 3, maybe 4. You don't want them to. You don't want every fight to feel the same way. It's all gonna feel different.
こう我々が開発最初にこういう風にしたいっていうのをこう開発チームに提示したのがあって、まあ、開発チームに提示したのがあります。例えばウェポン戦をなんかこうオリジナルなまあ、ミニゲームじゃないけどオリジナルな新しい戦い
No, don't make weapon fights like mini games.
しようと思えば、まあ確かに
Well, the one in Medill, that looks like it's gonna be a mini game.
それに閉じてこうゲームをデザインできるんで実現はできると思うんですけど、やっぱりこう RPG でもあるし、自分でこう育ててきたキャラクターとか育ててきたこう能力っていうのをやっぱりウェポン戦で発揮をさせたかったので、やっぱり同じコンバットシステムの上で
Yeah, this part right here.
でもそこに例えば
Yeah, this is mini game shit, obviously.
ちょっと特殊な要素を入れることで手触りを変えるとか戦略性を変えるんだけど、でもゲームとしてはやっぱりベースのコンバットシステムのベースの上に成り立つっていうのを目指しました今回は。
Talking about battles, and probably one of the personal biggest reveals in here that just rendered me asunder when I saw it. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. You guys seemingly have a job system for the first time in Final Fantasy VII. There's been like a spiritual job system. Tifa's a monk, Cloud's like a general fighter. But now there seems to be like costumes and classes with almost unique abilities. Can you elaborate on that, just based on what we saw?
そうですね。今回はまあジョブ我々ウェアって呼んでるんですけど、英語だとフィッツかな。
More on that, please.
各それぞれのキャラクター。
Even though we've got an idea of what it is.
ウェアを
Only 4?
結構今回のフィッツはもう結構目的は明確で、まあ原作もそうなんですけど、まあリメイクリバースもそうなんですけど。キャラクターって主人公たちのキャラクターって自分の個性がある意味クラウドであれば戦士だし固まって固定されていたのをこのフィッツを使うことでよりクラウドは戦士寄りなんだけどそれにちょっと黒魔導士的な魔法が得意な要素を入れることで自分なりのクラウドのカスタマイズができるみたいなしたくて入れてます。
Really appreciate the fact that there is visual costumes, like new costumes on the characters. I was like, what are we looking at here? So let's
like you could make a character a white mage, but still keep physical aspects of their skill set intact.
5-minute introduction that combat is featuring a lot of similar things that we saw from the previous game. One of the most impressive things to me personally was that Endo-san just opened up the combat so much from part 1 to part 2. It became a very grounded game to almost an aerial game in many ways. Is it about preserving the foundation that existed in Rebirth as much as possible, or really breaking new grounds with what combat characters can do with combat?
ここは私も遠藤も結構もうビジョンは一緒で、なんか1から2もそうなんですけど、2から3でもなんか新しく全くバトルシステムを差し替えてしまうっていうのは多分ファンにとっても求められないことだろうなっていうところがあるので基本的には、 同じベースのバトルシステムを
Yeah. Yeah.
新しいこう
Keep what you got and just add to it.
っていうところをまず見ています。当然今回シドやヴィンセントって新しいキャラクター
Because coming up with something new would just make it take longer.
一番は今回はこうウェアフィッツをベースにバトルの攻略性を広げています。でこう
I just want to see what's Vincent's triangle ability.
攻略性も増えますけど、やっぱり一番は今回はこう
He got something called Eclipse,
ベースにバトル
Excretion, Retribution.
で
So he's going to be able to. So Sid's going to be able to switch back and forth between his gun and his claw.
ウェアはただ単純にこうキャラクターの能力がこう
And when he switches to Galleon Beast, that unlocks more shit.
含めてこう新しいこうコマンド性だったりアクション性だったりっていうそのこう選択がどんどん広がっていくようにこう構成されているので、そこがやっぱ今回新たな最終作としての魅力に多分ユーザーに伝わるんだろうなっていうふうに手応えがあります。
Skill tree stuff changed a little bit from part 1 to part 2, from remake to rebirth. Are we expecting a skill tree that maybe is a bit closer to what was in rebirth, like with the folio system, for example?
そうですね。比較的そのよくみんながこう他のゲームとかでも慣れているスキルツリーのフォーマットは取ってますけど、今回そのやっぱりこうウェアフィッツに合わせたこうスキルツリーに変わっているので、まあそこは。
They're adapting skill trees to the fit system. It's probably not nearly as complicated as it sounds. It usually never is. These Square Enix games, they might seem overwhelming to the casual RPG player or the people who aren't into RPGs, but once you're in it, once you have an idea of how you want to approach it, it's really not that complicated. But you're adapting fits, so every fit has a skill tree. Is that what he's saying? Or are there skills in the skill tree? Or is everything just one skill tree and certain things are for your fit and certain things are for weapon abilities, etc., etc.?
Similar but different within a new context. Very cool. Yeah. Thank you for humoring my extremely nerdy gameplay questions. Like playing these games on a foundational level as someone that loves combat and like fighting games especially, I really just could not believe how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth expanded upon those elements, and there's just so many things that you don't even see people do that is so capable. So it's wonderful to see that that's just going to continue into part 3. I honestly can't wait to play these characters.
これ今日のステージでもお伝えもしましたけど、本当にこれ最終作だと思ってやっぱ我々挑んでいるので、もう全部出し切るつもりでやっています。
We can tell. We can tell. So I got several questions from the internet. I have some friends with questions of things that I would like to echo and I'm also curious about. The thing that we just saw over and over again, and I don't know if you guys technically alluded towards it, was chocobo breeding. And clearly one of the big, most notorious things in the original Final Fantasy VII. Can you mention anything about it now, or is it just a part of those extra-worldly exploration elements that...
No, please no, please no.
今作は、原作だったようなチョコボを配合して新しいチョコボをこう生み出して、
Okay, so it's in it?
入れてません。逆にピコっていう相棒をどんどん育てていきながら自由に空を飛ぶ。
Or is it just one chocobo?
探索のカスタマイズとか
And we can unlock new abilities in that chocobo.
を入れています。
Interesting. So that's why we saw what was Pico in the trailer, utilizing like blue chocobo abilities. Very cool.
Ah, right. Okay.
そのピコを育てていって
So you can get new abilities for I was about to say Chico. And then you also have new chocobos.
それとは別で原作の時も自分で配合するとワールドマップの探索のスケールが広がっていくんだけど、それとは別で原作の時も自分で配合すると厩舎にチョコボが増えてる。
Okay, so we're just focusing on Pico and we're unlocking more abilities for him. But at the same time, we'll also get new chocobos. Will they have a whole new array of abilities that Pico won't have? It seems like a lot.
今回は自分で配合して増やすみたいなことはないんだけど、
Yeah, they're appearing as you unlock these new areas.
自分の厩舎にどんどんチョコボが集まってくる。
I'd have to see that in action.
Okay.
I'd have to see that in action.
That was more than I was expecting to hear. Very cool. One of the things that I really enjoyed in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a really tiny moment of the game. You can go back to the grasslands after going to Junon during sunset. And I always loved the way the grasslands looked, and it was a little like, I wonder if I can get this time of day back later.
Oh, he's on about that again. He loves that time of day stuff.
My general question is,
Very little detail.
I love Final Fantasy VII Remake at night especially. And I'm curious if there's any plans for like a day-night cycle of some kind, or just seeing day for a variety of different areas.
そう基本的には
It's going to be focused on the story progression mainly. Okay, so no, there won't be a day-night cycle because that just takes too much work. I mean, imagine just staying in one area for several hours, and by the time it reaches a certain point, the sun starts to set. It's a cool detail, and maybe we'll get there with video games one day, but why do we need that? All this extra effort going into some small little detail, like sunlight.
原作でもなってるんですけど、やっぱこう
There'll be a moment where the meteor is going to be falling, and then there's
ス
things.
トーリー側と合わせたいっていうところがやっぱリバースと同様であるので、
At times, mostly in line with the
スト
story.
ーリーの中で変わっていく。
Yeah.
リバースのようになんかこうストーリー展開の中で夕方になったり、
Yeah.
夜になったりみたいな。
Yeah. So
I'm trying to lean away from story and lore implication and theory crafting, which is something that we've done a lot of over the past couple of years, of course. But I love the title of Part 3. None of us didn't see it coming, and also the implications of what it could possibly mean is also like interesting. It also has always felt to me that the subtitles of each game are almost implying to like Sephiroth intentions. Like Sephiroth is remaking something, or he's being reborn, rebirthed, right? And that feels like almost like a revelation of something we don't realize what's happening, and we will learn about what's happening. How did you guys come to the title of Part 3, and how disappointed were you that you couldn't use Reunion?
リユニオンは比較的最初から我々の候補にはなかったですね。もういくつかもう最後はこう2つか3つぐらいまでこう絞り込んでた時にもう最後は本当にクリエイティブディレクターの野村の方にもう決めてくれというので、最終的にはリベレーションは彼が決めました。で基本的にはもう言葉の通りでセフィロスかもしれないですし、この新しいこのリメイクシリーズの最後の結末かもしれないですし、とにかく我々がここまでリメイクリバースとユーザーに問いかけてきたものを全て明かすというそのつもりでこのリベレーションっていう。
And yet they probably won't answer a bunch of them. They probably won't answer half the questions that players have. The main one being, was all of this a sequel to the original game? They'll never answer that. They want us to argue until nobody cares.
I like that one even more. Outside of that, there's another small event that happened today that prefaced you guys going up to talk about the main game. So Tifa is in Street Fighter. That is still not hit me entirely that this is an actual reality now. How did this come to be? Was it a thing where you guys were always buddies and it just seemed like a good idea? Did the Street Fighter guys come to you? Or did it just seem like such a unique opportunity based on the game's release?
そうですね。当然ストリートファイターだけでもなく、結構いろんなやっぱりゲーム限らずですけど、からやっぱりティファを利用したいっていう声はやっぱこれまでもたくさんありました。だからやっぱり我々としてもティファがやっぱすごく世界中のプレイヤーから愛されてるキャラクターっていうのは我々も肌で感じてるし理解してるので、なんか安くどんどん消費するというか無難に使ってしまうのがやっぱ良くなくて、で今回やっぱり我々最終作としてやっぱ一つの区切りタイミングなので、ストリートファイターのやっぱそれでも非常に素晴らしく人気のあるゲームタイトルなので、我々としてはこのタイミングでストリートファイターさんと一緒にティファをコラボレーションするっていうのは我々としても意味があるっていうふうに感じたので、今回話がうまくまとまったというのが 経緯ですね。
That's incredibly exciting. As someone that has been effectively preaching for like 20 years of Final Fantasy characters to show up in fighting games, much less even other things and the excitement of it.
Because he's wanted Tifa and Tekken for the past several years now.
Street Fighter and Final Fantasy 7 in the same sentence. And if any of that stuff happens later on in any way, you know, I think you got a lot of supporters out there, is all I'll say.
そうですね、せっかくこうね、今このリベレーションでこう完結を迎えるので、まあ、何かこの盛り上がりの中で他にできるものがあればっていうのは常に考えています。
Can't wait. I cannot wait. We are actually in, you know, the full marketing cycle of Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3 now. Like, it's weird to think that we've been on this journey since release for upwards of 6 to like almost 6+ years. And for you, I think you've been on the project since about 2016 or 2017. How does it feel to be near the end of the road for you personally? Because your involvement goes back quite a bit as well.
It's bittersweet.
The last 2 games.
As a fan, it's pretty bittersweet.
Is it sort of like your kid and you're like letting them go? Or is it a thing where you've just been waiting to show off this stuff for so long?
どうなんでしょうね。ようやく終わりが見えてきて、安心してる気持ちもあります。
Yeah.
で、あとはやっぱりもうこう一つのゲーム、まあ当然こう3作に分かれてますけど、一つのこうゲームの中にもう10年以上こう一ゲームクリエイターとしてそこに対して開発するっていう機会もやっぱなかなか。
It's got to feel like being a Marvel actor.
実際ないと思うんですよね。同じような経験をこうできるっていうのも。で、そういう意味でそこに自分のクリエイターのこうパッションというかこう情熱を。
Yeah, it's got to be like being a Marvel actor. Like, don't do nothing for the next 10 or 15 years because we've got plans for you.
そういうできたっていうことに対して、この今こう3作目がまあ今日映像発表しましたけど、まあ私の中ではもうほぼ完結含めて全部もう見えてる状態ですけど、あそこに注いできてよかったなって思えるぐらい自分の中では非常に納得のできるこうゲームに仕上がる手応えがあるので、まあやってよかったなっていう思いもあり、まあ終わってしまう寂しさもまたあるみたいな。
Yeah.
One of the last things we wanted to mention, which was based on the English version of the trailer, there was one character specifically that sounded a little bit different, and we couldn't discern if it was a voiceover or not. Sephiroth seemed to be maybe a different voice actor in the English version of the official trailer. Do we have any confirmation on that? If it is a different voice actor, or is it something you guys can't discuss right now?
気がついちゃいました。
I was almost wondering, like, him?
そうなんですよ。今回こう3部作目では、まあ、ちょっといろんなこう事情もあってこれまでこうセフィロスをやってくださってたこうボイスアクターの方がどうしてもちょっと継続できないこう事情になってしまったので、今回も新たに声優ボイスアクターを変えています。
Great to know.
Later. I just got an update from Square, chat, and I got the permission to reveal who the voice actor was. I guess this is an exclusive. Permission to reveal who Sephiroth's new voice actor is. And it is somebody, some of you guys guessed it already. It is indeed Travis Willingham. So congrats to Travis. He is now portraying Sephiroth in part 3. He voiced a Superman? Shut up. Travis also voiced a Superman at some point? Shut the hell up. He did Lego Superman? That is gotta be intentional.
Yeah, because there's like 2 other Sephiroth voice actors who are also Superman in some iteration. That's wild.
Literally has to be intentional. That is the 3rd different Superman that has portrayed Sephiroth at this point.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. If that's coincidence,
that is insane.
Is divine coincidence.
And I think, you know, I just kind of want to wrap things up a bit. I don't want to keep you guys take too much of your guys' time, but I do have to say that we are here at the end of this thing. There has been so many people that have been contemplating what is happening with the story, what is happening with these characters as we move forward into the final part. We've been sort of drip-fed many of your interviews over the past, like, I'd say 2 years. And we've been just sort of like inkling at any idea of where this stuff is going. So I'm kind of curious if you guys sort of heads down focused on the narrative that already existed, or was there a lot of paying attention to hear what all fans are saying about where the story's going, what the narrative is doing? Or is it sort of a thing like laser focus, this is our goal, this is our story, we're going to tell it?
Focus on the goal.
早い段階で、このリベレーションの結末っていうのは、決まっていました。はい。まあやっぱりユーザーは原作通りにこう着地するのか、今回このリメイクシリーズっていうところで何かこう変化を入れてくるのかっていうのはやっぱすごく期待されてると思う。
Something new and unknown,
こうまさに
with original sprinkled in.
どういう答えをこう皆さんにお届けするかっていうのは本当に楽しんでいただきたいし、私はその今回の我々の答えに非常に自信を持っている。
The title's definitely very interesting. So yeah, all I have to say, you know, from me personally, and I've only gotten a chance to talk with you guys so much as time has gone on for these past like 3 games, but the fact that we are where we are, I'm deeply appreciated that Final Fantasy VII as a series got this much attention and has received so much love, care, and attention from you as a director and the development team and the development staff. I am so much anticipating when the game eventually drops that I'm like debating not watching any more trailers, but I'm unable to do that. So for me personally, the fact that we're here leaves me even more deeply appreciative than I was before with the first 2 games. So thank you guys.
いやこちらこそいつもファイナルファンタジー7リメイクシリーズをこうずっとマックスが応援してくれてるので、私も非常に嬉しく思っています。
Sweet. Hamaguchi-san, arigato, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for translating as well. Chat, just look forward. The game's coming out in spring of 2027. We're on the final road right now, so thank you guys so much for being here. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up, so thank you, dudes. I'll join you guys on stream, but I'm going to let these guys go, so have a good Summer Game Fest. I hope all the interviews and everything goes great. Is there... By the way, when would be potentially the first time we might be able to actually play?
そうですね。もう今日は多分ものすごくこう情報を出したので、もう今後出す情報あるのか、もしかしたら心配される方いるかもしれないですけど、ここを皮切りにどんどん情報を出していきますし、そんなにそう遠くない段階できっとプレイアップできるんじゃないかなと思いますので、楽しみにしてます。
Also, no answer.
I was not expecting that answer. All right, no more questions. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh man, dude. I really do like Max's channel, man. He's a well of information. Has been for a very long time. He's primarily a fighting game guy for anybody who doesn't follow Max. I mean, I only follow this guy because he's an FF7 fan. So what's going to happen to my support once it's all over?